Hello, Miriam Slozberg here of Miriam Reads Tarot, and I hope you're doing well. So today we're going to talk about which major arcana cards of the tarot match each Enneagram type. So when you think about the major arcana of the tarot, you may wonder what correlations they have that are not astrological or numerological. The tarot has many correlations to many things that you may not even consider. And one of those things that some of the cards of the major arcana are associated with are the personality types of the Enneagram model. So what is the Enneagram model? The Enneagram model is a personality typing system that shows the patterns of how people perceive the world and handle the emotions they have. The model has 9 points that represent the different personalities that people have, which shows their behaviors. It also shows how they respond to situations that are both stressful and helpful. And many people use the Enneagram for the purpose of understanding themselves, understanding others, and it's a great tool for self-development. The term Enneagram comes from Greek terms which are Ennea, and that's 9, and Gramma, which is to scribe. And the Enneagram personalities can also be compared to several cards in the major arcana of the tarot. It does not compare to the cards in the minor arcana, and not to even all the cards of the major arcana. So let's take a look at the cards that can match each of the Enneagram's types right now. So type 1 is the reformer. Those who have this Enneagram type are known as the reformer, and they're those that need to stick to the rules. They need to conform to others. They also need to be organized and do things by the book. Another term for the reformer is the perfectionist. And the tarot cards that are associated with this Enneagram type are the Hierophant and Justice. The Hierophant card represents both traditions and conformity, and the Justice card represents fairness to the law. That represents from right from wrong. Okay, so let's talk about type 2, the helper. So those who have this Enneagram type are known as the helper or the nurturer of the Enneagram. And they really do help others to the point that they tend to put their own needs aside. This type is the ultimate caregiver. And the two cards that are associated with the helper are the Hanged Man and the Empress cards. The Empress is a card that represents motherhood and nurturing, and the Hanged Man is the card that represents making sacrifices. And that is what the helper is known to do. Okay, so let's go to type 3, the achiever. Those who have this Enneagram type are known as performers or the achievers. They are highly competitive and creating something new and elite. They are creating better versions of themselves often, and they have new ideas all of the time on how they keep improving their lives. They tend to be the types that want to one-up others in their social circles or at their workplaces. That's why they're always looking at ways to improve and create. So, there are 2 tarot cards that are associated with the achiever, which is the Magician and the Chariot. The Magician is the ultimate creator that has brilliant ideas and puts it into action just like the performer does. And the Chariot just keeps going and doesn't let anyone stop them. They're going to get to their goals, they're going to attain their goals and get to their destinations no matter what obstacles try to come into the way. So, let's go to type 4, the Individualist. This type is known as the Individualist or romantic types of the Enneagram. They're highly sensitive, creative, and expressive. They also are known to be quite intuitive, which is why the matching card in the tarot is the High Priestess. The High Priestess is known to be very intuitive, has hidden talents, and mysterious, just like type 4 happens to be. All right. So the next one, type 5, the Investigator. Type 5 of the Enneagram is known as the Investigator or the Observer. They gain wisdom by researching, observing, and reflecting. They are the types that stay private and sit back and observe. They are the types that prefer to be alone in order to keep their minds stimulated. So the tarot card that is a perfect match for this type is the Hermit. The Hermit is all about gaining spiritual wisdom and insight by staying back and reflecting on their own. They rely on themselves for spiritual guidance. However, oftentimes when this card comes up in a reading, it can also mean that the seeker should seek therapy in order to have the guidance they need in order to reflect on their own. So this is the introspection card, which represents type 5. Now let's talk about type 6, the Loyalist or the Loyal Cynic. So type 6 of the Enneagram is known as the loyal cynic or the loyalist. They are the types that will struggle to trust anyone. They'll struggle to trust a belief or anything until they're given a reason to trust. And then once they do, they hang on to the individual or to the belief for life. So they're also attached to their routine as well as prediction. This type is highly anxious for obvious reasons. The best card that's associated with the loyalist is the devil. The devil represents attachments, as the sign of Capricorn is associated with the devil, which is also associated with type 6. The next type is the enthusiast, type 7. Type 7, which is known as the enthusiast of the Enneagram, is the optimistic type. They're always ready to go on a new adventure, and they just need to keep exploring. They are the type that they're the types that absolutely enjoy traveling and will keep learning new things until they expand their minds. So whereas uncertainty is something that terrifies most other types, especially the type 6, the 7 embraces it. So the card that is associated with this type is the Fool. The Fool is always on the path to the unknown and is embracing that. The Fool is ready to experience anything new, which is what the type 7 always wants. The Fool also embraces uncertainty because the universe, they believe in the universe. And that's what type 7 does too, believes in the universe. Alright, the next type is type 8, the Challenger. So those who are this type are known to be the Challenger, as type 8 must always be in control and in power. So this type is always the leader and will not allow anyone else to manipulate them. They are kind to those who respect them, but can be quite aggressive otherwise. So the card that best represents the type 8 is the Emperor. The Emperor is sitting on his throne, making sure that all things are kept in control. This card rules stability, discipline, and order. That's created by the Emperor. And that's right, the Emperor is the boss, so he better be obeyed, just like the type 8. And Aries also rules the card, the Emperor, and that also is associated with the type 8. Alright, type 9, Peacemaker. So those who have this type are known to be the Peacemaker type, and peace and calmness is what they are all about. This type does not like friction or confrontation of any kind, and has a very hard time with making decisions, and they don't speak up either because they don't like to ruffle feathers. So that is a big struggle they have. So the best card that represents the Peacemaker is Temperance. Temperance is all about patience, stability, and doing things in moderation. And this is a card that comes up that indicates that decisions need to be weighed on heavily before they're being made, and that is something that the type 9 resonates with the most. So, which Enneagram type do you think you are? If you already know your type, do these cards resonate with you, do you think? If you know other cards, if you know of other cards in the Major Arcana, or even the Minor Arcana, you can share them. I'd love to hear it. And thank you for watching. And don't forget, subscribe, like, do what you need to do, and I'll see you soon.